Welcome to the Pickleball Recovery Podcast, where we highlight products and practices to help you feel better faster, so you can spend less time stiff, sore, and injured, and more time on the court doing what you love. This podcast is sponsored by AlloMD. Don't just mask pain, eliminate it. AlloMD provides intense relief and advances continual repair for both acute injuries and chronic pain. All-natural, patented technology developed by doctors to get you back in the game fast without the use of opioids, steroids, or NSAIDs. AlloMD, harnessing the power of pure natural ingredients that provide deep, penetrating repair. Patented, validated, natural. Learn more at www.allomd.com and make sure to use the discount code PBR at checkout to save $5 off your order. What's up? It's your host, Tim Ringgold. Welcome to Pickleball Recovery. Welcome back for those listeners who have checked out before. If you've been here before, thanks for coming back. If this is your first time, welcome. I'm really stoked you made it. This is a very specific conversation in the pickleball world because pickleball has a problem. We all feel, young in heart or young inside, I guess, when we're playing, but our bodies, they have something else to say, right? So here we are focusing on what helps you to feel better faster, what helps you spend less time stiff, sore, and injured, right? That's really important to me because it doesn't just affect my game on the court, it affects the other 20 hours of the day, right? So today I've got an interview with a trainer that I met at the PPA Atlanta Open, and it was really cool because I actually watched a video of this trainer work with a buddy of mine named Shay Underwood. And you may know Shay because he's got a really great YouTube channel called Shay Underwood Pickleball Road to Pro, if I'm not mistaken, Shay, and it's SHEA. So please go check out his channel because Shay has lots of very cool instructional videos. Most of the time I'm watching Shay teach me how to hit a really killer spin serve. But with this interview he did, it was with a trainer and they were talking about injuries that I was also suffering from. So it's actually in my liked videos. And when I got to Atlanta, more than one person came up to me and said, "You got to meet this guy who's here. His name's Kevin Cardone." And I was like, okay, all right. And then apparently more than one person went up to Kevin and said, "Oh, you got to meet this guy who's here. His name's Tim Ringgold." So it was like, just ordained that we would connect. And as soon as we met, it was like, oh. So we conspired, figured out a time where we could sit down for an interview. And we picked a nice quiet spot in Atlanta, which just happened to be center court. Now, there was a rain delay, and so we thought we've got time. We sat right down in front of the Atlanta Cup, and we thought we had this perfect spot. And then the sun came out really fast and the music came back. And if you've ever been to a PPA event, center court is a party. So please excuse just the craziness of this interview because we were right, stone's throw away from Chris, the MC and DJ, and he was bringing the noise, which he does so well. You got to remember this guy MCs and DJs for it's 8 hours a day for 4 days straight. I mean, it's an endurance fest, what Chris, what the energy that he generates to make center court so cool at a PPA event. So props to you, Chris, even if you interrupted this interview 17 times. But at the same time, it was Chris who I asked if we could set up in front of the cup. So, what are you going to do? So with no further ado, let's get into it. Kevin, he has a really great website. It is called mprtrainer.com, and that stands for Mobility, Prehab, and Recovery. He specializes in improving the body's overall mobility, flexibility, and recovery. And he has got multiple certifications, 1, 2, 3, 4 different things and actually more than that. He's designed a program called Mobility in Minutes to help you learn what your body needs to move better, feel better, live better. And now you get a sense as to why I was excited to hang out with him while I was there. So again, enjoy the chaos, sit back, relax, enjoy the ride, and I'll see you on the other side. Kevin Cardone, welcome to Pickleball Recovery.
Thank you, Tim. Nice to meet you.
Great to have you here.
Great to be here.
It's really more great for you to have me here because we're in your backyard.
That's true.
Hanging out at the Acrotech AO Atlanta, Georgia Open.
Beautiful.
It is beautiful. This is the closest we're going to get to it.
I want to touch it.
Yeah, I know. We are at the PPA Atlanta Open here, and we are literally on center court. This is a pretty amazing spot to be. It is just off camera here, and there was a rain delay, as happens here.
Now it's getting even hotter.
And boy, is it cooking. Oh, it's cooking. You can just feel it because it comes from both directions, right? It's like it comes this way and then it comes back up from here. Yeah, thanks for that.
Exactly.
Thanks, Acrotech. Acrotech, hey, if you could make a surface that actually absorbs the heat while you're at it.
Or maybe even cools you at it.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That'd be awesome.
Thanks.
Please.
Yeah, get right on that. So, yeah, here we go. So we're here playing at the tournament, and Kevin and I both played, and we're players, but we're also guys who are super passionate about recovery, as your shirt even has the word on it.
Yep.
So I knew we were, kindred spirits. And what was really interesting was actually I met you online through Shay Underwood's video, and I have that video saved on that phone.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's very funny. And what's funny is it's the next video after my Wim Hof breathing video I use every morning.
Perfect.
So if I don't turn it off in time,
it just goes right into it.
It's you and Shay every morning. So
it's pretty funny watching Shay kind of struggling with those exercises.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he made guttural sounds of all kinds. So
That's what I do.
Yes, people pay you for you to put them into pain.
Yep. But to become pain-free.
That's it.
All right?
That's exactly
Sometimes it takes a little sacrifice in the beginning to help calm the body, open it up, and get those aches and pains to go away.
Yeah, totally.
What do you do?
Okay, hold on.
Users coming back.
We're having a dance party here. There's a timeout on center court. So we are right next to the PA, which is awesome. So because the energy is here. So here we go. I got that. This is a little better. So we're just going to keep going. We're going to roll right through it.
Let's do it.
This is PPA. One of the great things about PPA events is center court. The vibe is
amazing.
Awesome. PPA does such a great job of making center court a party. And I saw this event last year on YouTube.
Okay.
And I was like, what is that? Where is that?
Yeah.
I want to do that.
The pros love it here.
So that's why I'm here. I live all the way across the country, but I was like, I'm getting on a plane to be a part of this event.
Yeah.
So
and it's bigger and better this year. Like a lot more tent set up for the pros, a lot more booths set up. It's just amazing. Like just being at this club, I work part-time here, and watching the transformation happen over the course of 2-3 days doesn't even look like the same club.
So good.
It's amazing here.
So cool.
So if you guys have not been out here to Hotlanta, Atlanta Open, do it next year. It's going to be bigger and better, guaranteed. Can't wait. I can't wait.
It will be. That's true, because PPA tends to build a bigger party. I'm having a paranoid moment. I can't see. So bright.
That's Atlanta.
Yeah, it is. So
Rain
bright.
5 minutes and then sun's back out.
Yeah, totally. I hit the button, so I think we're good. You ever have one of those moments? I shot a video actually one time where I didn't turn on the video. We did the whole interview, and it was like, ready when you are. Oh, my God.
Yes, it's happened.
Oh,
it has happened.
So yeah, let's talk about you see pickleball players, right? They're your clients, right? And you see them in pain. You see them carrying injuries around. Now, I've been playing about 18 months, and I have already had plantar fasciitis issues.
It's a big one.
I've had a little bit of knee issue, but hips, like hip flexors and low back, aside from the tennis elbow and the tennis shoulder, like some of the core stuff. And what I'm learning is that even my feet are an extension of what's going on in my core.
Exactly.
And so what I'd really love for us to do today is kind of tackle, like, what are the big three that you see people are struggling with? And then what are you doing to get results to help them remove that pain?
Yeah, basically everything you just said. Plantar fasciitis, knee, hip, lower back. And like you just said, it's all connected as one. Yeah. Where I've worked with a lot of clients that have a lot of pains, aches and pains, and they tell me where the pain is, and I start looking at other places of their body, and they're like, I told you the pain's here. I'm like, I get it. I'm like, but it's all connected. So your lower back being out of place can cause the pain in your foot.
No kidding.
Mm-hmm. And I actually had a client test me before with the plantar fasciitis, and then she kept going to different doctors and physical therapists. They're like, oh, yeah, it's because your hip's out of place. She came back and actually apologized. She was like, you were right. I was like, yeah, I know. And I patted myself on the back, saying, like, yeah, it doesn't take a doctor to understand the body. It's just I've been through aches and pains.
Yep.
I've rehabbed myself, which is how I know a lot about the body, and I can see a lot of stuff. So going through what a lot of us have gone through has helped me be able to, I'm not going to say fix, but definitely help you guys learn how to manage your aches and pains a lot better.
Yeah.
Because we're all athletes.
Yep.
Some are pros.
Yep.
Some are amateurs.
Yep.
Some are at different levels. The more active we are, the more pains we're going to have.
Yep.
That's what people don't understand. We were talking about this earlier, like the bigger your life gets, the more problems you're going to have. So it's how can you actually manage those? What does your body need compared to my body? It's different. I mean, we all have legs, arms, most of us do, but we're all built a little different inside. So learning what your body actually needs to manage the pain, for me, it's simple.
Okay.
But then I got to coach you on what you need to look for and how you have to get into the positions and exercises. It's harder because a lot of people tend to rely mainly on the tools.
Yes.
Massage therapist, massage gun,
Yep.
the compression
Look
boots.
at this new device I've got.
Exactly.
It'll do everything.
It's a fad. Like, it comes, it go.
Yeah.
But we are still here.
Yeah.
The more you can do, the more work you can do with your body, the better result. And it's not just putting a Band-Aid. It's going to the root cause of where the pain is.
Yes.
That's the biggest thing.
That is the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in our convenience culture, we just want a pill or
Yep.
we want a product to do the work for us.
Yep.
And we forget, like, I can lay on a device and listen, I use all kinds of devices and they do make a difference, right? But then I can undo all that just by how I'm carrying my torso, right? And how I'm moving. And so it's like, you need both.
You do.
Right?
You
Otherwise, you're just like pouring water in a bucket that's got a hole in it, right? So here's your device that you just spent $6,000 on, and here's your posture 8 hours a day in front of your computer.
Correct.
Undo. Totally, right?
Mm-hmm.
The great undo button is like, what are we doing when we're not on the court all day with our rotated shoulders and our rotated trunk, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's the thing, too. So a lot of what I do, it makes you aware of what is your body doing. And I've had people say literally, like, I'm here on their shoulder all day long, like chest up, shoulders back, sit taller. And they're like, how are you in my head? I'm like, because the way I coach you and how I make you control your body a lot better. And a lot of us, as we get older, we tend to not use our brain and our body.
Yes.
We get away from that. The more you can use this to control this, your game's going to improve. Recovery is going to be quicker. You'll be able to play longer into your life. And that's kind of my motto. Move better, feel better, live better.
Yes.
It's simple. And it doesn't take hours a day.
No.
People think it's like, I got to go stretch and recover for 4 hours. No. Minutes a day, less than 30 minutes a day, even less than that once you know what your body needs.
Yep.
It's simple.
It is.
It is simple.
I think it's the simplicity that eludes most people.
Exactly.
And then the second piece is just the self-discipline.
Yes.
Right. So that's why having a coach is so important, because someone holds you accountable and they get in your head, and we need that. And I've been told the same thing as a coach, like, you were in my head, and I was like, creepy, but awesome.
Yeah. It is a little weird.
I'm going with the awesome part. She's like, I heard you in my head the other day. And I was like,
what was I saying?
I was like, I don't want the details, but it means I'm doing my job, because you're not listening to you. You hired me to listen to me.
Yep.
And, a coach can be there when you're not physically, but you can be there in their head. So.
And we all need coaches. I have coach. I have a business coach. Like, I have other trainers that help me keep myself accountable to do what I need to do.
Yep.
It's a never-ending battle.
Yes.
It's again, the more active we are, the more we have to do this stuff.
Yes.
So, like, I'm building a program that it's called Mobility in Minutes, and it's just minutes a day to get you learning what your body needs and then just doing it.
Brilliant.
And it's a process. It's not going to just happen overnight. So it's a learning process. But the more you learn, that's when it becomes easier and easier.
Yep.
5-10 minutes a day. That's all I do with, like, my mobility work, and I feel 10 times better.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And like you were saying, I can watch somebody walking away and be like, oh, they need this, this, and this. If people ask me, they're like, how do you do that? I'm like, I have a gift. Right. I train my eye to see it. If you were to stand up, I would put a perfect skeleton over your body. Then I would see, like, all right, is this shoulder here? Is this hip high? Like, I'd look at that.
Oh, yeah. You'd look at my AC joint. That was it. Yeah. We talked about this off camera, as I have an old rugby injury. And so I tend, and it's particularly if I get a little stressed, because everybody takes that stress and puts it somewhere in their body, right? So the muscle will activate and then shorten. So my trap, this will just come up a little, but it's not like Quasimodo.
Yeah,
it's not obvious to me, but it's obvious to you. And it was obvious to my Alexander technique practitioner.
So left shoulder. Yeah. Is it the right knee, the right plantar fasciitis, and right hip?
It's mostly the side, and particularly these days, it's my, like, glute / ham right in that overlap area that's
on
really
the right side.
taking the
So
beating.
here's the crazy thing. Typically, left shoulder being weird,
Yep.
right hip is going to be weird. But it's like, what came first? Did the hip being out of place cause the shoulder to happen? Probably not. With his situation, rugby
Yep.
happened here. Probably throws a hip off, throws all the rest of that side off. So
Yeah.
the stuff I've gone through, I know how to like really manipulate that stuff and make it stronger, more open.
Yeah.
But here's a weird thing too. So as you start to open your body up, you might feel very sluggish because new muscles are actually working.
Yes.
And they're like, what are you doing?
Right.
They're like, we just want to go hibernate. We're not used to this.
That's right. They're not coordinated.
Correct.
They're not used to that. And you mentioned it earlier, which let's touch on a little bit, is this mind-muscle connection, which as a lifelong athlete, I only heard that phrase in the last maybe year.
It's been crazy. Yeah.
And it's powerful and it's really important, right? So just kind of talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So again, a lot of us rely on tools to do the work.
Yep.
Your body needs to do the work because the more you can think about, again, how your body moves, how it's supposed to move, because the body's smart and dumb. It doesn't want to work hard. It wants to go to the path of least resistance.
Totally.
And that's typically not the right path, especially if we've had injuries or athletes. Like our bodies are out of balance.
Yep.
So the more I can get you thinking and looking, like when I look at myself in the mirror, I'm always looking at like just certain points. I'm like, all right, why is the shoulder up here? Okay, I got some tightness in my neck. All right, let's fix that. But it's the awareness of seeing that in your body and then using your brain to control your body better. So I also work with a lot of golfers, and a lot of them, they don't rotate a lot because they're thinking of just one side rotating. When one side, so say your left arm's going forward, your right arm should be going back. That's going to create more torque and a better rotation.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
So it's like an opposition. So when I work with golfers, I'm like, all right, in your backswing, if you're right-handed, your right side's rotating back, left side's rotating forward.
Right.
But a lot of them think just rotating back.
Isn't that interesting? It's like cyclists. The first time you put on toe clips, and you realize
you're
pulling while you're pushing, and
correct.
And those hip flexors are like,
they're like,
I'm just used to pushing. There's no pulling involved in cycling. Like no, that's
same concept.
That's that same concept.
That's that opposition. And when that happens, and as the brain understands that, you're not going to fatigue as quick.
Right.
You're going to be more powerful.
Right.
You can play longer into the day because you're not using as much energy.
And that is what's so fascinating. And I'm sure you guys have had this experience when suddenly, like your technique and your body come together, and you have this perception of effortlessness, but yet you create either power or control, and you're just like, wait, how did I just do that? That didn't feel like work at all.
It just felt
it was
nice
when everything was
smooth.
working the way it's designed.
Yep.
This machine is far more powerful than people realize.
It very is, yes. And most of us don't use our brain power enough. We just rely on like just what we've been doing our whole life. But if you can start to think and understand how the movement should happen, like you said, it's effortless and more power. Like you can more control too. It just blows my mind. Now, again, like I said, as you start to open up, like your game might go down a little bit. But once those muscles in the body and mind catch up,
exactly.
I'll see you on center court.
That's right. You sometimes you got to tear down to build up. And
Correct.
I think any house, you got to build a foundation.
Yes, and that's what people don't do enough is building that foundation. And your foundation is here. It's your powerhouse.
Yes, it is.
The second this is off, everything else is going to adapt to, again, go to the path of least resistance so the body doesn't have to work hard. You start putting this back into place. Aches and pains might start to migrate, which is it's normal. But as you start to get in there, you open it up, reinforce stuff, and you just start to move better. Like one day, you'll just wake up, be like, oh, that's not hurting anymore. Like where'd that go? Oh, this isn't hurting anymore. It's just, it feels like it's overnight, but it's not. It's boom. You're taking that steps, and all of a sudden one day it's just like, thank you. Where everyone thinks like successful people are they get lucky or happen overnight. No, they were putting those seeds in. They just kept planting those seeds, and then finally it just happens. It's such a weird process, and it happened to me. Like I hurt my lower back 6 years ago, which is how I know all this stuff, and I rehab myself. And until recently, I started using some different tools and different products. Like my back was here. I was like, it's still not where it needs to be. But using some good products, my body just kind of relaxed and opened up. And then my back just went up to here, like so much stronger. My lifts are getting a lot better. I don't fatigue as quick. And I just don't have that constant aches and pain in my lower back.
Love it.
Yeah.
So again, sounds like that combination of the two, right? Like efficient mechanics plus good products. That help kind of not magnify, but kind of speed,
speed it up.
speed that process up.
And that's what tools do.
Yeah.
They're not, again, they're just kind of a Band-Aid over what's happening, but do they help? Yes, of course they help. I use many different tools.
Yep.
Being a fitness trainer, I have access to a lot of different ones, different products.
Totally.
I've tried a lot of different things. I'm like, yeah, this might work for that. This might not work for this. So it's just having that knowledge behind what tools are good.
Yep.
It's going to help, and it'll speed things up so that you get better back on the court a lot quicker and play longer in your life. Because that's what we want to do. We want to die on the pickleball court,
Absolutely. Right? My story, the second day I played, I took a lesson, and then I went to the local courts, and I played with a guy named Jack, and he was 92, and he was good.
Kicked your butt, right?
And I was like, at the time I was 48. I was like, that's 44 years from now. I could still be doing what I'm doing.
Yes.
And I want that.
Yeah.
Right. So, and then I started going through all this pain, and I was like, I don't know, this is kind of a drag. Yeah. But as I've started to adapt and take better care of my body, activate it in the right ways,
correct. Yep.
use some good products along the way, I'm definitely suffering a lot less than I was. So that's why I'm like, come with me on the journey. This is like, find out about this stuff, because when you put it all together, it really makes a qualitative difference. One of the biggest areas for me is when I get out of the car after I get home from pickleball. Okay. So it used to be when I would get in the car after pickleball, I'm sweaty and I'm full of adrenaline.
Yeah.
And I'm like, blah. And I call my sponsor. I'm like, I just got off the pickleball courts, just checking in. Life is good, blah. Right. And then it's 15 to 20 minutes back to my house, and the adrenaline subsides and the rigor mortis just takes over, right? So then I go to get out of my car, and I can't get out without making a sound.
Yeah.
Right?
Or doing a pull-up to get out. So I've been there. Who else? You've been there. I know you have.
Yeah. But that's not how it is anymore. I pop out of the car when I get home.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is the same foot I used to limp into the house on.
It's crazy.
And I'm popping in. So let's just work our way up the body. We'll talk about the foot or the feet. And then let's talk about the hips. Let's talk about the lower back.
Okay.
So you see people, they've got plantar fasciitis. What do you do? What do you tell them?
So I just basically have them stand there, and I want to see what their alignment looks like. So I get their feet to make, or first off, I just have them kind of march in place and just let their body do the thing. And I'm like, just stop, don't control it. And I see what's happening.
Okay.
Is there external rotation of the foot? What's the knee doing? What's the hip doing? And then from there, I just start to do some assessments and kind of see, do they have internal rotation happening at the hip, external? How's the ankle mobility? I ask them about other aches and pains too, because normally they come in with one pain. And I start talking to them. They're like, oh, yeah, I got this one, this one, this one. I'm like, okay. I'm like, do you have any more? And a lot of times when I ask them, I'm like, have you ever had any injuries? No. And I start moving them. I'm like, well, what happened here? Oh, yeah, like 10 years ago, I broke my knee, broke my foot. I'm like, that's an injury.
Yeah.
But we forget about it.
Totally.
But, yeah, so I just do some assessments, and I kind of maybe get a massage gun, start hitting some different muscles, kind of see what happens, see how it opens things up. And then my specialty is a lot of joint decompression and myofascial stretching.
Okay.
But I'm not doing it to you. I make you do the work.
Okay.
I set you in the proper position, and I'm like, work. And what's work? It's just building tension and literally thinking every joint decompressing in the body. And it's more work in the fascia.
Okay.
Which that word is getting more known.
Yep.
But it's still like, what is
that fascia thing?
Yeah.
What is that? What?
I'm like, what? How do you say that?
What, facial? I'm getting a facial? What?
You're like, no, not now.
No.
But literally your fascia is connected like from your feet all the way up to your head. And it's one unit. It's a spider web-like material. And we've all heard of scar tissue.
Yep.
That's your fascia just binding up. So your fascia is supposed to glide, and it's very, it's smooth. It's made of collagen.
Yep.
And it's also made of a lot of water. So if you're not hydrating, your fascia is going to be like beef jerky.
Up your fascia.
Have you ever tried to bend beef jerky? It's kind of hard.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. Or you get
it's a good analogy.
Yeah. Or a piece of cooked spaghetti. That's how fascia should move.
Okay.
It should have all different angles moving with ease.
Okay.
But beef jerky, you're like,
you
can't even tear it.
Yeah.
And again, so the beef jerky, like scar tissue, it's very hard to break up, kind of like beef jerky.
Gotcha.
Cooked spaghetti, you can just pull that apart.
Right.
The fascia is very delicate.
Okay.
So a lot of the tools, like you're putting all that pressure on the fascia, you could actually damage it before getting it better.
Okay.
So you want to definitely be careful with some tools. But if you're not hydrating enough, fascia is going to be locked up, not going to be good. So yeah, going back, I look at just how the joints are aligned, and I just start talking to the people or my clients and just trying to figure out what do they do, what are their daily activities, are they on the computer, are they driving a lot, are they just slumping down? So the spine plays a big role into everything as well. So posture is huge, alignment's huge. So and again, your plantar fasciitis could be different than mine. So that's the hard part. Like people ask me, what should I do? I'm like, I don't know. I haven't seen you move or haven't tested some things out. But that's where it comes back to you doing the work and understanding your body.
Okay.
I say this to all my classes I teach. I'm like, this is your body. I don't know what you're feeling. I don't know how it moves. I'm like, you need to learn that.
Okay.
Why? Because it's yours.
Right.
Like, it's not mine.
Right.
I can help coach you into figuring out your body.
Yep.
But if you don't want to do it up here, it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
So once they get that click and understanding, they're like, oh. And then that's when they're like, oh, yeah, you're like right here on my shoulder all day long. Like, I heard you in my head. And they're like, I'm sitting in my car straighter.
Yes.
But they're like, I feel so much better.
Yes.
And the stuff I do, I've had people grow. I've had one person grow 3/4 of an inch.
What?
Uh-huh. She was a little older.
That's
like
okay.
High 60s.
That's okay. My wife would be very interested in this right now.
A lot of people.
She didn't get the height gene, so therefore neither did my kids. Sorry, honey, it's true. So that would be of relevance in my house.
And if you think about it all day long, gravity is compressing us. We can't get away from gravity.
That's it.
And if you're working out lifting, you're compressing your joints even more. So if you're not getting that stretching, that decompression, you're going to shrink. Your joints are just going to be locked up. So what I do, people think it's stretching. I'm like, no, you're doing a lot more. You're strengthening the joints. You're opening the joints up. You're getting to move full range of motion. You're strengthening the fascia, ligaments, tendons, and you're getting the muscle to be stronger too.
Nice.
So if you think tennis, I know pickleball, it's a lot down here, but tennis, your overhead serves here. This joint and muscle, it's going in extreme range of motion. Yeah. If it's not ready for that, injury.
Yes.
And so many issues with shoulders, tennis players. So the stuff I do, it gets that length, that decompression, but you're getting stronger too to support what you want to do with it.
Because you need that strength to support in that joint, right? That's a lot of the challenge for a lot of people is because they work in like the knowledge economy, right? Their muscles are atrophying over decades, you know? And so now they're asking those muscles to do a job that they haven't done in 30 years.
Yes.
This is so great. So off camera right now, Chris, who's the MC with PPA, is throwing out some T-shirts. And if there's anybody on the planet Earth who knows how to get a party going, it's Chris. And he's got the mic and he's tossing shirts. And it's just a few feet away from us, so it's absolutely awesome.
Bright yellow hat and shoes. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's so good.
Tell you, if you guys have not come to Atlanta Open, get here next year.
Yeah, you have to. And if you're in SoCal and you can come to the OC Cup, it's also at a Lifetime Fitness facility, and there's an amphitheater similar to this, and it's a party. So
it's beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. PPA picks really cool venues.
They do.
That's what's, so that there's this feeling going on. Let's go.
He's pumped.
Let's go, Chris. Yeah, buddy.
Big smile on his face. I love it. I love it. It is. It's a party. It's a legit party.
That's it. Yeah.
This is what pickleball is all about. Having fun, being social, enjoying people. Yeah, he's fist pumping everybody as he goes by.
My first tournament, I was at a tennis center for a clinic with Tyson, and there was a tennis tournament, and the vibe was like...
They did not like it.
So bad, right? So a month later, I went back to the same venue for a pickleball tournament. And it was like this. They had a huge PA blasting AC/DC over the courts while they were playing.
I love it.
Like, this is like being at a festival.
Yeah, it is. Pretty much.
It's so much like being at a concert festival. Like, oh, okay. And then, play whatever level. Play it and get hammered and go out early. I mean, hold on. Get beat. Then get hammered.
Yes, exactly.
Hey.
There you go.
But like, even if I went to an out yesterday, but yesterday was still a party.
Yes.
Right? Because about an hour after you've licked your wounds, you've met 20 new people who are also cool. Mm-hmm. And you've kind of forgotten about it because you have to remember that there's 1,200 people here.
1,200.
Only about, I don't know, 30 or 40 of them are going to have medals.
Yeah.
The rest of the 1,100 of us didn't medal. Yeah. But we're still here having a good time.
Yeah. It's a battle. It's fun.
It's fun.
And again, it's a party. You meet like-minded people that just want to have fun in life. and just enjoy it. And that's what life's about. It's too short to be angry and upset. Like you need to have fun.
Yeah.
Way too short to be in a bad mood all the time.
Totally. Exactly. So come out, play tournaments. They're fun. Even watch.
Yeah.
Because the other thing, when you're live watching the pros play, it doesn't translate on camera the same way. It is so much faster, and their precision and control is so much better. And when you see it live, you appreciate. You can recognize that with your eyes. And there's something about the TV or your computer or your phone.
It slows it down.
It just slows it down. Yeah, that's what makes us all think I could do that.
Yeah, they make it look so easy. It's not easy. To tell you the truth.
Oh my God!
And then that pickleball sound, that ball hitting. I love that sound.
That's such a good sound.
I love it.
Well, see, that's part of the problem. It's like a Vegas slot machine because you get to the courts and you hear pock, 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 pock.
That dopamine happening.
Yes, totally. And you're like, oh, my friends are waiting for me. I've got to get out there, right? And then you're like, oh, I didn't warm up my body before I warmed up my dinks.
Ooh, yes.
Now I'm in a lot of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
So let's move up to the hips.
Yep.
Let's talk about hips. You know, one of the things I think that's important for people, it's not so much what you're doing on the court, right? It's what you're doing on the job.
Yeah.
So what is there any kind of go-to thing to be thinking about while you're at a desk? Because so many of the people who are listening to this are at a desk for hours a day.
Yeah, a lot of people I see sitting down, like even me just now, I just fix my posture, but a lot of us tend to, our lower back just sits back and around. So proper lumbar support. If I'm in a chair for a while, I'll take a little pillow, put it behind that lumbar because you want to sit here.
Yep.
It's for a lot of us, it's going to be uncomfortable because we're not used to it.
Yeah.
Again, our body just wants to be lazy. It does not want to work throughout the day. So the more you can sit here, shoulders back, don't try to reach at the desk. Like bring it closer.
Yep.
Screen, definitely have it up higher so you're not looking down. Tech neck is a huge thing.
Tech neck.
Or
oh my God, I haven't heard that.
The dowager's hump or the old lady hump.
Oh my God, I haven't.
You don't want that.
Oh my God.
So that's your spine shifting and compressing,
Yep.
and that's up here. And if those nerves are compressed, nothing else is going to work right.
Yeah.
So getting that good posture, one, allows your body to work better.
Yep.
Your brain-body connection's a lot better.
Yep.
And things feel better.
Yep.
And all it is just sit up taller.
Isn't that funny?
Shoulders back, chest up.
And you breathe better, and you therefore you're clearer, and you have better focus and energy. So just because when you open up like that and you extend your abdomen, now the bottom of your lungs have room, which is where we're supposed to be breathing. And we're all top lung breathers. So when you create space,
huge difference.
It's a huge knock-on effect.
And if you want to play better pickleball and get more rotation, if you're here, minimal rotation. You're here, look how much more rotation, how much easier that was. Do that. So round your shoulders, try to rotate.
Oh, there's no room. No, it's
now rotate.
Now there's more room.
So
it makes total
less
sense.
energy, more power, last longer, win more.
Yeah, win more. And when you play well, you enjoy it, right? So like it's like don't lose to your body.
Yeah.
You know, lose to your opponent. Don't lose to the net. But I know a lot of us we lose to our body, and that's so frustrating.
Yeah. So going back to that lumbar support, if we're just sitting and slouching, the hips get tucked under,
right?
Lower back pain, the tailbone starts to like curl up a little bit, which is not good.
Yep.
And and then you get shorter, things don't work as well. So it's just, again, everything's connected. Like when I have people come in, they're like, "Oh, I want to fix this." I'm like, "Well, you got to fix maybe here to get that to be fixed too." So it's like a puzzle. Everyone's a riddle to me. That's why I'll never get sick of this industry because, again, your plantar fasciitis will be different than mine, different than all these people here. So it's like my brain loves to just problem solve issues of the body.
Nice.
And it's again, we're all a little different. Maybe wearing different shoes might help your foot out.
Yeah, actually it did. It was in that case for me, right? It was noticeable when I switched brands. I was like, oh, okay, I'll take it.
Yeah.
You know?
So, brand of shoe is going to be different for everybody. It all depends on how your ankles are aligned. So if you stand and all of a sudden, like, look in the mirror, if your ankles are caving in, you need more support inside of your foot to keep those ankles out here.
Okay.
Ankle caves in, knee's going to rotate in, hip's going to rotate in.
Okay.
And it's a chain reaction of the whole body.
So this is a really good one. This is like a nugget right here. So when you look in the mirror, are you looking in the mirror barefoot or in shoes?
Barefoot. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So I'm going to look in the mirror barefoot and I'm going to notice where my ankles kind of collapse inward.
Yep.
Like I got no arch, basically. Is that what's going on there?
Like it's caving in. Yep.
And then do some people similarly do the same thing where they're just sitting on the outside of their ankle? They're kind of collapsing on the outside.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting? My daughter sprains her ankle all the time. I bet you she's she's a little pigeon-toed. So I bet you that ankle is externally.
Yep. So yeah, if her toes are turned in, ankles will typically probably roll outward a little bit. Does she roll outward or inward?
Rolls outward.
Yeah. Yep.
That's really interesting.
All that's just probably super weak out here. So there's exercises, definitely calf strengthening, and even just going up on your toes in alignment and then slowly come back down. Like I used to have weak ankles.
Yep.
Played basketball, come down, sprained my ankles. Played baseball, sprained my ankles a lot. And since doing the stuff I do, like when I would first go up my toes, I'd be like dancing around, my ankles would be tweaking out.
Yep.
But now it's like I go up my toes and I just feel stronger.
Solid.
Like calves are stronger, foot muscles are stronger.
Yes.
There's 33 joints in each foot.
That's crazy.
One of those locks up, everything else is going to lock up.
Yeah.
So it's again, the body it blows my mind. Nothing shocks me anymore with the body. They're like, it's like you're supposed to feel it here. They're like, I feel it up here in like my head. I'm like, doesn't shock me. I'm like, wherever you feel it.
Yep. I always ask my clients, I'm like, when you're mentally stressed, where do you feel it in your body? Right. And we just go around like the room because I work in groups, and it's literally like head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes, and for one person it's this, another person it's that. And I'm like, that's what happens.
Yeah,
that's where it goes for you.
Yes. Again, it's your body.
It's your body.
Got to learn it. And that's what I'm trying to do is build more of a virtual platform, social media, to show you guys where your body should be aligned.
Yep.
If it's not aligned, here's some small, quick things you can do. And it doesn't take much.
Yeah.
So going back to the hips, like pickleball, it's a lot of lateral movement side to side. If you're not ready for that, your SI joint or your sacrum is going to shift around, lower back issues, knee issues, plantar fasciitis. So what do you do to strengthen your muscles in a lateral movement or side to side? Doesn't take much. Like you could just lay on one of your side and just start pulsing your leg up and down. This will start burning. And some people are like shaking. They're like, why am I shaking? I'm like, muscles hibernating. It's not turned on.
Yep.
So just small things like that to get muscles working. And I tell people all the time, like, you have 6 butts. You have 3 on each side. People are like, what? They're like, I know it's big, but I don't have 6. I'm like, you have a glute maximus, medius, and a minimus.
That's right.
If they're not all working, the hips aren't going to be in the right position.
Right.
And usually it's the side butt. I call it the side butt, the glute medius and minimus. When those aren't strong, your hips are going to shift, and they're not going to be in the right place.
Yep.
So with my lower back issue, I was doing like a lot of lateral lunges or ice skaters. People might know them as well. I know they were good for me, but after doing too many, like I could feel pain in the SI joint and the lower back just because it was weak. It wasn't used to that muscle.
Yes.
And if you think pickleball, you're doing that side to side.
Oh my God, all the time.
So simple exercise. So simple exercises can get those muscles active and working better, so you don't have that shifting of the joints.
Now, and you don't have to spend 2 hours in a gym to activate those muscles, because chances are they're pretty weak.
Yes.
And so body weight exercises on your bedroom floor, 5 minutes in the morning, like you'll get the shakes.
Yeah, you will.
You'll get the shakes. That's where to start, right? Just start small.
Yeah, start small and simple. And I tell people, you don't really need a gym to get in shape. If you want to bulk up, you're going to need heavier weights. But if you just want to move better, feel better, live better, body weight stuff,
this is it.
Proper stretching exercises, even though stretching is also an exercise.
Yes.
It's a way of new strengthening.
Yep.
And that's what I'm ingraining in people's minds. I'm like, don't look at it as a stretching. I'm like looking at it as a new way to strengthen your body.
That's a great reframe.
And when they get that, like, because a lot of the professional athletes, like football, baseball, basketball, they're using the technique that I do.
Gotcha.
And like Patrick Mahomes, he's one of them. Remember when he hurt his knee like 2-3 years ago?
Okay.
People were like, he's done for a season. He was back in like, 2-3 weeks?
Crazy.
By doing the techniques that we do, because his joints were just that much stronger and could heal a lot quicker.
Gotcha.
Now, I mean, he's probably using other products and a lot of rehab professionals, but doing the technique that I do and I'm specialized in, it definitely helped him recover so much quicker.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and now I'm trying to get that into student athletes, the younger ones, because they just think they want to lift weights. I'm like,
they're invincible.
Man. Yeah, I went to a high school like about a month ago. I was like, oh wow, I was
watched
scared.
them.
I was
just like, oh my God.
I was like, you need to stop doing that. You need to put that weight down. No,
sir, step away from the Smith machine.
I was like having a panic attack,
sir, or son.
And it's just like, because a lot of the little younger boys, they just want to lift. They're like, how much you benching? I'm like, can you do a real push up? If you can't do a real push-up, why are you benching 400 pounds?
Isn't that funny? Yeah, let's start there.
You're one wrong move and your future career.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
And that's all it takes, one wrong move. That happened to me.
Yep.
Last rep of the day, of the workout, that's when I blew my back out.
No kidding.
I was like, oh, it was so bad.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, and in pickleball, like one more game is that's the killer. You know, it's like one more run in skiing. Let's do one more run. That's when you get injured.
Yep.
Last weekend, gold medal match. It's my 9th game of the day, and it's the 2nd game of the match, and that's when my glute was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I did as much as I could.
And that's the thing too, is once you have an injury, it's always going to be there.
Yep.
Again, it's how do you manage it? How do you keep it strong? And you got to listen to your body. So once I injured my lower back, no one should ever feel lower back pain. If you've never experienced back pain, you never want to. And when you do, you're like, you have sympathy for the people that always have it.
Yes.
But again, you got to learn how to manage it, but you got to listen. So anytime I'm working out or playing pickleball, if I feel that lower back saying like, like you're just on the edge, I'm like, I'm done.
We're done. Yeah.
Because it's okay.
Yes, it's okay. And listen, people, you can cancel.
Yeah.
You can walk off the court. You can do that. And it's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
You know, because the last thing you need to do is try to be a hero and stay on the court for everyone else. And then you're going to be off the court for 6 weeks when it might have been just 6 days.
Exactly.
So just take care of yourself.
Listen.
And listen to your body. And my coach, he says to me, he goes, when you're feeling good, walk away.
Yeah.
And it was so funny because I used to not feel good unless I felt bad. If that makes if I'm not exhausted, I didn't work out hard enough.
Yeah.
And if there's still something left in the tank, I didn't leave it on the field or I didn't leave it on the court. I'm learning now, leave half the tank.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that my recovery isn't painful, and then I can play tomorrow and not injure myself on a tired muscle.
Correct. Yeah. Listen. You just gotta listen. Again, that's that brain-body connection.
Yep.
You gotta listen. Your body, when it's proper and understands itself, it'll tell you like, hey, we need to stop.
We need to stop.
Or it's like, hey,
if you don't listen, I'm going to turn up the volume.
Yeah. And then it's like, 6 weeks off the court. Then you're like, oh, getting all stress and anxiety going on. Then it might even take you longer because all that stuff's happening. Yeah. So listen to your body. You feel any small little weirdness. And it might take some time. So for me, it took a little while to be like, is this my body saying something? Or is it just a muscle that's weak? And it's like, hey, maybe let's go lighter weight or maybe just give it a day off. So it's going to take time. It's a process. It's not going to happen overnight.
Yep.
If it does, that's awesome if it happens overnight.
Yeah, lucky you.
Like I've had people come to me with like lower back pain, shoulder pain after one class. They're like, that's gone. I'm like, awesome, but keep coming.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't stop. I'm
right.
like, this is a practice. I'm like, you got to get this under your belt, daily routine. Or just like do like an hour class like once a week. That's just really all it takes.
Yeah, maintenance.
Yeah, and then like because a lot of people, they just want to keep lifting. It's like, take a step back, open the body up.
Yep.
Your lifting is going to improve. You'll see better results. You'll recover quicker, and then you can do more stuff.
Yeah.
Or you don't have to work out as long.
Yeah, that too.
To get the result.
Yep.
So I've seen it all, and the people that get it, understand it, they're just like, anytime they see me, they just shake my hand. Thank you for that advice. I'm like, you're welcome.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's great.
Where do people follow you online?
So Kevin Cardone Fitness is my Instagram. Website is mprtrainer.com.
Okay.
Building an on-demand platform as well. So it's in the works. It's just going to get bigger and bigger with, like I said, Mobility in Minutes is my main program that I'm building. And then from there, it's like I'm going to build a mobility boot camp where it's like a lot of body weight, calisthenic works.
Great.
Because once you're at a certain point, your body can just move in so many different angles. And again, all you need is body weight.
Yep.
To really feel better, move better, live better.
That's
so, just trying to prove to people like you don't need to go to a gym to just do what you want to do, enjoy.
Yep.
So a lot of band work, body weight work, just basic stuff that you can bring anywhere.
Yeah.
And do anywhere.
Do anywhere.
Like you don't need a gym.
That's empowering.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's fun stuff. I love it. And the rewarding thing for me is just making you guys feel better and get on that court a lot sooner.
Well, that's it. And that's my whole motto is literally feel better faster.
Yeah.
So
that was an instant connection.
That's why it was like, we're going to hang. So Kevin Cardone, thanks so much for being on Pickleball Recovery.
And you have a Facebook group, right?
Yeah. And then there's Pickleball Recovery Facebook group. Yep.
Yeah. So we might start doing some more stuff on there for you guys and some free content.
Oh, that would be awesome, dude.
I'm happy to do it.
Yeah.
It's simple. It's simple. That's what I want to prove. I'm like,
it's not rocket science.
It's not.
No.
Well, to me, it's easy. It's simple.
Yes.
But the coaching aspect and having you guys do stuff to your body that you've never done.
Right.
That takes some time.
Yeah.
But the way I coach it, and because I've been doing this stuff for over 6 years, I'm still learning it.
Yep.
Again, it's a practice. It's not going to happen overnight. But I try to coach you on like, all right, here's what I feel. and I try to say the same thing 3-4 different ways because all of our brains work a little different.
Yep.
So I'm constantly talking. Like by the time I'm done a class, I'm like,
sure.
I'm like, where's my drink? I'm ready for a drink. But I'm beat because I'm constantly talking, trying to get you guys to do the stuff that you need to your body.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for joining us.
I appreciate it, my man.
All right.
Pleasure.
Woohoo.
I like it.
Thanks so much for listening. Do you want to know the number one mistake picklers make that leads to increased pain, soreness, stiffness, and injury? Just head over to www.pickleballrecovery.com and download my free guide to playing with less pain and more enjoyment. Listen, pickleball makes us feel young at heart, but not necessarily young in body. So go download my free guide at www.pickleballrecovery.com. See you next time.